Pleased to meet you. This is Fixed and Folded, the knife review channel for the casual knife collector. I am Cody. This is my assistant, Tommy the cat, and I'm going to be reviewing for you the Bestech Goodboy 8-inch total length folding knife. This is a good knife. I might keep it. You get G10 handles with some steel inner liners that have some holes drilled out in there to reduce some weight. You have satin finish accessories, accents, and button lock actuation, which feels nicely done, good tolerances. You have thumb stud deployment also. You've got a drop point blade shape with a little sort of a chisel grind additional accent there that is really just to flex off Bestech's machining skills. Doesn't need to be there, but I think it looks cool. And you've got some jimping at the front of the handle, which is coarse and does provide good traction, but it's also relatively comfortable. And then you have some file jimping, the base of the blade, which is also coarse, also provides decent traction, and is also pretty comfortable. The fit and finish is excellent on this. Came perfectly centered out of the box. And overall package is impressive quality for the price. You've got D2 steel and came $85 Canadian before taxes at House of Knives in Calgary, Canada. And this is the minimum size of folding knife I like to carry with me so that it will fit in my pocket and not get lost in it, so that I can just, my front pocket's there, so I can just grab it when I want to without using the pocket clip. Speaking of the pocket clip, it is well designed. It's a high carry, not a full deep carry. There's this much material showing. Easy to get in and out, and comfortable in the hand. My fingers rest between the bill on the right hand carry and on the left hand carry, same situation. And if I go back, then the other two fingers go between here. So this is not a contact point with my hands in the normal hand positions. The handle is relatively neutral, so you can do a comfortable choke up. You can do a comfortable reverse grip. By default, saber grip, very ergonomic. The width of the handle is medium for an 8-inch long knife. Blade stock is also medium. So this will do up to medium duty cutting tasks. Think microwave boxes around that size being the maximum thickness that you're going to want to break down with this. Refrigerator boxes, cutting thick tire plastic straps and stuff. Ideally you're going to use a larger knife, maybe even a fixed blade combat knife or something for that task. This will potentially wear out doing heavy duty tasks, but everyday carry size excels at doing light duty tasks and up to medium duty if you need it. I find the design, the lines, to be appealing. You have this cut in for the finger, and it will stop the hand from slipping forward during piercing. You have a minor upsweep on the handle here going into the jimping to provide a little bit of extra traction on the top also to prevent slipping during piercing. Flow through construction. Got your barrel spacers there. You have just your stop pin here and your button. The barrels, the thumb studs, do not contact. They're not a blade stop. And I question the location of them. They are quite forward onto the blade, and as you can see, they're significantly into the cutting path. So if you're cutting down your material, if it's thicker than this tallness of the blade, is going to get hung up on the thumb studs here, so you do not get the full length of the blade for push cutting. But that's relatively thick. If you're cutting rope or something, it's going to be a pretty thick rope if you're going to be, if this is, you know, not as tall as the entire rope. And of course you can start the cut here and diagonally slice down, but I don't like that these are so far forward to the point where I'm considering removing the thumb studs and just using this as a button actuation only, like is on my Boker Plus Strike manual knife that we don't have the button the spring-loaded button automatic available in Canada, and like your Civivi Elementum button actuation knife, that's also button only, and this works well enough that I could use this button only actuation. Also, I don't like colors on my knives. I like the thumb studs to be the same color as the blade. Whatever color the blade is, I want the thumb studs to be that color. This is a nice attractive color though, but it makes it more of a gentleman folder fashion item. And while yes, my blades are fashion items for me, it's just not my style to be showing off fancy colors. And this is like electroplated on, so it'd be really hard for me to remove the color from these studs. If I decide I want thumb studs on here, I'm just going to order some generic thumb studs, probably, but this is about the thickness of a bug out. Maybe if I get some plain colored, blade colored bug out thumb studs on Amazon, knockoffs for 10 bucks, that might solve the problem. But first I'm going to just try removing them all together, because why is it down so far down on the blade here? I would like these studs to be up here, sort of in the middle, where you get your finger area here. They could definitely be up here and still have room to clear. This is the closest area between the handle and the thumb studs, and that's a generous amount of room. And it go open all the way, and again, so why the designer decided to put this here, or the company told the designer to put them here, I don't know. You can thumb flick it open from that location. I could easily do it if it was higher up. You can slow roll it using the joint of my thumb here, breaking the tension on the button lock here. It's quite firm to break, so it doesn't feel good to break it by using your thumb. For me, the two easiest methods, button or thumb flick it with my nail. But I think I'm just going to try for a while just to use the button and remove these, because I want to use this whole blade. Yeah, I want to be able to use the whole length of the blade for cutting. Makes it more tactical feeling for me. Also, what I think happened was, my guess is that you can see this is a fairly common shape of handle at the end here, and very often these handles, it's going to be comfortable for the finger to rest here, and there's going to be a generous cutout of the blade to have your hand rest. Here's an example. Here we go. This is the Cold Steel Double Safe Hunter. You can see the handle is generally the same shape at the end, and there's been some space here to put your finger to choke up, and this works very well. This has the potential for that, but the designer decided to leave the blade length here to maximize cutting edge, which is perfectly fine, but these thumb studs should be placed this way so that when you're choking up, then the blade starts here, and then it's only halfway into the cutting path, like so many other thumb studs. You can see the thumb stud's only about halfway into the cutting path. You got about halfway into the cutting path here. Got just about halfway into the cutting path. And this is, the whole thumb stud is more than halfway into the cutting path. So it should be traditionally there about here in terms of the edge of the starts. It's way into here. It's a peeve of mine. But you know what? I bought this knife because knowing that I wasn't in love with the placement of the thumb studs, everything else about the knife I really like. And $85 Canadian for this fit and finish, this design, feel and hand. I'm really happy with this. Okay, so you get a satin finish. This is a full flat grind. Nice even cutting edge, secondary bevel out of the box. Cutting was okay, 7 out of 10 out of the box. I just touched it up with my leather strop and my 20,000 grit strop compound, and then it went better. It became 8 out of 10 for sharpness. Cuts slices through receipt paper cleanly, no problem. I'll do a little paracord here, show you that it can cut paracord. You can see how efficiently it cuts it. Not bad. I love the shape of a drop point, and this is just a nice little visual accent, and you can feel it. It's a functional sort of chisel tip grind, but it doesn't need to be on there because you can see the taper starts the last third of the blade down to a needle point. And you got some more fancy subtleties on the finishing here. You have a tumble finish on the stock of the blade that's been unsharpened, and a little hidden D2 steel logo there, which is cool. Also, you have a tumble finish along the spine, and the spine has been crowned, so it's been rounded off and smoothed, which is not a trademark, but it's a feature common with Italian-made knives. And interestingly, it's a partial crown because then it gets really sharp at the end here, as though it's your typical blade. But to put your finger on it, it's very comfortable, very smooth. And then to go on the edge, it's sharp, like not going to cut you sharp, but it feels like a 90-degree angle. So the crown is really, a full crown is going to be chamfered off of the edges and smoothed. This one, it's angled at the edge to be a point. Interesting, but it's neat to have the little subtle tumble finish into a satin. I prefer pure tumble finishes as my favorite, but I'll take this. Now, and this satin blade matches the shiny satin, screws and pivots and stuff, right? So yeah, this is about 8 inches is what I'd call the beginning of a full-size knife. Full-size EDC that you can have a size that you can do up to medium-duty tasks with. There are shorter knives, Spyderco paramilitary or PM3. People get mad at me if I call the paramilitary and the PM interchange the words. I'll just call it a PM3. I'm sure that's wrong. Paramilitary 3, I think it is. Shorter blade, shorter handle, maybe 7.5 inches total, but that's made to be durable, and you can definitely do up to medium duty with that. But in general, this size is what I consider, multi-purpose size. Not just for light duty, not just for cutting tags and cutting tape off of boxes. So could you do some emergency survival with this? Yes, you could, but it's designed to be light to medium duty EDC knife. Feel in hand is very good. There's no jiggling, there's nothing loose. There is no side to side, no up and down blade play on here. You've got ball bearing washers, so very smooth. Just free swinging when you have the button depressed all the way, and then you can control where it stops just by when you decide to release the pressure on the button. The button protrudes a little bit in the open position from the handle, and it's nice and safe when it's closed. The button, not only, it's not flush, it's actually inside of the handle when the blade is closed, and that makes it nice and safe. It's going to really reduce the chance of opening in the pocket by contacting with keys or something else, a small object that's going to poke it. So this is a nice, safe position here, and it's really easy to feel out. You can see there's an indent there of the cutout for the button, and it's a really easy reference point for the thumb. I just go to feel where it's indented, and then I push in there to open it. So good design. You've got these little fashion lines along the handle, visual flare, and I don't think they provide any meaningful traction. The traction is with the grit of the handle, which is medium. So this texture itself provides some traction along with the shape. This, you know, it's one of these ergonomic shapes that fits in with your hand when you combine with the medium thickness and this amount of tallness of the handle, height of the handle. It creates a comfortable EDC feeling knife for me. Feels like about the size of a Griptilian handle, Benchmade Griptilian handle. A bit bigger than a bug out, definitely thicker than a Benchmade bug out handle. But around that ballpark, maybe PM2 size. Good size. The weight on this, I do not know. Let us use my fixed and folded scale. And it weighs 3.5 ounces, which is between light and medium. And it feels that. It feels between light and medium. You've got, I should probably check to see if this is a T6 or a T8. You're going to have T6 body screws, I can just visually see. And it looks like you have T8 reversible pocket clip screws, so that's cool. And you know what? Probably this is a T8. This is kind of an optical illusion size. This has looked like a T6 in the past, and then once I go and adjust it, it's actually a T8. So let's just go ahead and say that. Perfectly centered out of the box. The bevel, the angle of the secondary bevel, the cutting edge is perfectly even. So really good tolerances on the manufacturer of the knife. Just has a nice balance to it. It feels on the light side. The weight is a little bit handle heavy. I'm going to say the point of balance is going to be just behind the finger here, but it does feel good in the hand. I like the knife. I guess, why don't we do a size comparison? Here we are. Okay. So the Bestech Goodboy is 8 inches total length. You got 8.5 inches with the Cold Steel Double Safe Hunter clip point. You have 8 3/4 inches with the Benchmade Presidio 2, and you have 9 1/4 inches with the Recon M1 made in Italy. And so you get an idea of where this fits in size-wise. So out of 10 for a EDC folder of this size, for the price, $85. Oh, I will give this, well, I was gonna give this a 9, but because of the position of the thumb studs being so unnecessarily forward, right? You can see all that space between there and there. It's just, doesn't need to be that much space to clear the thumb. Even if I use the tip of my thumb to open it, you can see there's just so much space to clear the handle. It just doesn't need to be that forward. Almost like they were gonna go with a choke up point and then they decided at the last minute to keep the full blade length for extra cutting edge and then forgot about placement to move this back again. So I'm gonna probably remove the thumb studs, see how that goes. Because of that, I can't give this a 9 out of 10. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 because who cares? This isn't that big of a deal. There you go, 8 out of 10. Bestech Goodboy. Handle one in a store if you see it. Let me know if you feel the same way about it, if you like it, if it's worth you getting. And if it is, then good for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that I got this. Have a great day. See you later.